How to avoid marital affair. No need to do anything but cherish yourself. You may have been emotionally affected by the recent celebrity marriage scandal. You may also be wondering, is there a way to prevent an affair from happening to you? But you also know that this question has no answer. Instead of spending time desperately trying to prevent it, what is more worthwhile for you to do is to spend time paying attention to yourself so that you can still maintain the ability to be brave in an every unpredictable injury. How to avoid marital affair. Everyone wants to know the answer, but the truth is, there is no way. This may sound very depressing, but I want to share some of my personal experiences and observations to put it another way. Maybe we are asking the wrong questions. We are often afraid of losing each other in relationships. But what is even more frightening is that we may have lost ourselves in relationships without knowing it. What makes you work hard to be a good person in your relationship? In relationships, hard work may not necessarily lead to success. But if you don't work hard, it seems easy to fail. Because we always know that the most difficult thing to change is people, and the easiest thing to change is the human heart. This kind of powerlessness makes people more deeply in love, the more sad they become. So we who are deeply in love, although we are worried, we also work hard. We began to crawl and observe, like the most sophisticated reconnaissance team, observing the other person's likes, dislikes, habits, and dreams, and using the existing information to predict how the future would meet his needs. We were like Cinderella sisters, tailoring their feet to fit their shoes, wanting to serve him. Make a perfect lover. We want to be a good lover, a good man, and a good woman because we have an unspeakable fear. What we fear is not that we are not good enough. It's the fear that if you are not good enough, you will be betrayed, deceived, abandoned, forgotten, and left alone. We are afraid of being alone, afraid that the hand we finally held will be let go, afraid that in the dead of night, our breathing will look sad. But stories from ancient and modern times, both at home and abroad, make us discover that no matter whether you are a good man or a good woman, there is no guarantee that you can avoid affairs or changes of heart. There really is no way at all. 1. People who cheat on food will apologize to make themselves feel better, not to make amends. Before I met my husband, I used to be a so-called good woman. I have done all the things you want about the legendary noble sentiments of women: compromise, tolerance, dedication, turning a blind eye. I also encountered a plot that was even more exaggerated than the 8 o'clock show. And the fact is, whether it was with reason or behind closed doors, using both soft and hard tactics, or threats and inducements, I tried countless solutions and did what I heard all wise women should do. A man who can eat secretly can eat secretly. Even if you eat secretly once, kneel down to apologize, and burst into tears, it may happen again. Moreover, while he was eating secretly, he did not forget to praise you. You are such a rare and good woman. An affair is always more exciting than a serious relationship. The most affectionate apology I have ever seen in history was when he was kneeling on the side of the road in the middle of the night, as if he had kneeled down the entire road behind him, spreading out an apology that was far from ending, crying pitifully. That kind of painful experience can win an Oscar. If I stretched out my hand to pull up the night sky, I bet it would feel like high-quality velvet. This comical love drama is absurd and out of the box, and if you think twice, it will end with just one pull. He knew he was wrong, but he was infinitely tolerant of himself. I originally thought I was the heroine, but later I found out that I was more like a supporting actress. I thought I was a supporting actress, but later I found out that I was an audience member, one of the audience. I laughed even though I was crying. After all, it was originally a ridiculous comedy. Every line he spoke was either sweet or indebted, and he spoke back and forth like he was reciting poetry. His eyes took care of every audience member, and he never left anyone behind. He was a polite actor. He apologized to make himself feel better, never to change. Later, I read about Zhang Ailing. Her husband was Hu Lanqing, the famous scumbag of the Republic of China. It reminded me of One Night in the Papri Mansion scene. I also felt that this person was the same as Hu Lanqing, but his talent was not at all involved. Hu Lanqing at least still Hu Lanqing, and his bookshelf is full of books, but all of them are brand new. Reading casually is his hobby. It would be great if he is reading a book. Sadly, it never was. Men and women who eat secretly always have a logic to excuse themselves. They can always forgive themselves easily. Believe me, if they are the kind of people who do not forgive themselves easily, then they will not cheat at all, because people only make it easier for themselves. The moment I woke up from the dream, I realized how embarrassed I was, too. What a good relationship requires is not a good woman, but you. From this point of view, whether a good man or a good woman is a good man or not, he or she can at best be a legitimate official, but it is never a guarantee to avoid having an affair. So you don't have to be a good woman. I don't believe in the rule of thumb that if you want to firmly capture your husband's heart, you have to become a good woman. Of course, it may have its use in relationships. Being a good woman should be our expectation and responsibility for our own lives, rather than a means to achieve an end or some popular label. The definition of a good woman should also be the decision you make after you get to know yourself and the environment, and think about it with a kind and sincere heart. The standard of a good woman should not be based on the behavior or attitude of your partner, whether your partner is having an affair or not, or whether he or she wants to get married to you, cannot define whether you are a good woman or not. There is nothing wrong with working hard for feelings, but what we need more, perhaps even more difficult than working hard, is the ability not to be afraid. Many people love without fear of death. Perhaps what we should practice is to love without fear of losing love. As mentioned before, we are all afraid of being left behind, which is a kind of collapse of self-esteem and the world. Because of fear, we often give in. At least we still have a chance to hold on, right? At least you still care a little bit, right? At least you'll go home, right? You deserve an honest life. He has been dishonest to you, so you should be honest with yourself. To be a customized good woman, please don't be afraid of being alone. There is no need to compromise because of such fear, and become a good woman but lose the real woman. There is no need to wonder if you have performed poorly and start blaming yourself for finding a way out for the other person. The most important thing for a good woman is to be sincere. Work hard for yourself sincerely. Talk to yourself. Face your own needs and emotions. Be able to love and let go even more. Remember that you will never be alone, because you are the most powerful companion if you have courage, and your kindness will be the greatest strength. You can cry when you fall, but scold a scumbag if you meet one. There are many ups and downs in love, and no one can guarantee that it will be smooth sailing. Not to mention that in addition to people falling in love, there is also a more complicated marriage life. If you are not married yet, having an affair is actually a blessing, allowing you to solve the most troublesome person when you are least in trouble. But entering marriage is another world. Marriage has a deeper connection and deeper thinking. There is no certain right way for your partner to have an affair after marriage. Every family has its own fetters, so I just hope you can think carefully about it. If you finally choose to forgive, please try to forget, even though it is very, very difficult. But for the sake of your long-term future life, when you decide to let the other person go, please remember that what you need to let go of more is yourself. You must know that you cannot give away what you don't have. The same goes for love, and so does letting go. Pretending will only hurt you more. If your own kettle is not full, don't water it for anyone easily. A good kettle is never about how full it can be filled, but about being able to clearly know where the water level is. A good woman is sincere to others and even more sincere to herself. The reason why we can love others so sincerely and not be afraid even if we get hurt and still believe is because we also sincerely love ourselves. Perhaps there is no effective way to avoid being hurt by floating hearts and blind love, but you don't have to be disappointed in your relationship or marriage. With each relationship we have, we will understand ourselves better, as long as you don't give up sincerity and kindness. The world is so big and can tolerate the existence of so many scumbags. Are you, a good woman, still afraid that you can't find a good man?
Alright, this part of the story ends here.
Want to know what happened next? Let's listen to the breakdown next time.